That's not how the Force works.
I don't care.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing the movie. There's one scene that sticks out, and it probably sticks out for everybody, which is that, have you heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
I like to get into a vibe. You know what I mean? So we'll get into it. We'll discuss it all. The truth is, it sort of is what it is. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Look. You know what I mean? Right? You know what I mean? That's all good. You know what I mean? Right?
What are you talking about?
G'day guys and welcome back to Casual Rage. Prepare to start the show, R2. This is where the fun begins. Yo! And welcome to Casual Rage. Casual Rage, where we casually rage out about the topics of the week. I nearly forgot my intro. And I nearly played the outro at the beginning of the stream. So we nearly ended the stream at the beginning. How y'all doing? We got a little bit to talk about. There's some Star Wars news. It's kind of interesting how, if you continue watching Casual Rage or you've been watching Casual Rage, there hasn't been like a lot of Star Wars news. The Star Wars news that we've been talking about has literally been like the recycled news. And we talked about that a fair bit. But it seems like, I don't know, the Star Wars news right now, it really does feel like, to me, like they're trying to recover, that they are really trying to recover. They're trying to use what they can talk about right now to try and recover. And it's not going to work. Unfortunately, the problem is it's not the fans that you need to persuade. It's the actual product that you're putting out that you need to change. I'm sorry, I feel really like stuffy at the moment. It's the seasons changing kind of period, and we've just gone through spring. So I start to sound different. Man, you should have seen me before the stream. I was sitting here scratching my eyes, and I just snorted into the mic like fucking... Dude, What the hell? But yeah, that's not all. I do want to talk a little bit about the weekend stuff. Not a lot, but yeah, talk a little bit about that. What else did I have? Oh, Stargate, of course. How can we forget? We've got to talk a little bit about some Stargate stuff. And we've got a Dial the Gate video that we're going to watch, which should be good. I'm kind of, the more I look into the Stargate thing, the more optimistic I become. And it scares me because I actually really do feel like I'm really excited for this, but I don't want to overplay my hand. I don't like, and it's not necessarily for anyone else but me. Like, I don't want to get my massive hopes up that they can do something really, really good with this, and then it just disappoint. And then it just like goes nowhere, and it just ends up being what entertainment has become these days. Everything that we get. But before we get going, let's quickly say hello to the chat. I hate these ats, man. And it seems that the ats is now taken over. It doesn't look like it's going to go back. And that's really bad too, because people might have their real names in their ads, but they wanted to be anonymous. So anyway, we got Tim Hayes. How you doing? Wicked sucks, man. Well, I haven't seen it, so I don't know whether or not it sucks or not. The one thing that I can say is that the people that have been working on this seem to be sick. Like actually sick. Not just physically sick either. Like these people are mentally sick. That it, you know, and it's not like, anyway, it's not like a serial killer kind of sick that I'm talking about. I'm talking about like they're just sick. We got OG Star Wars. How you doing, Alora? Good to see you. Darth Leviathan. Whoa, almost stuffed that up. Happy Thanksgiving. Yes, happy Thanksgiving to all the Americans out there. Happy Thanksgiving. Yes. I hope you're having a good one. I heard that obviously today something happened. I believe there's 2 US soldiers. I don't know exactly, National Guard members or something that injured or have been killed, or I don't know the details, but prayers to their families. And just, I was watching Cecil's stream before we started, just a little bit of it, and I don't know, man. There was this one guy saying, "Oh, this is how you got to deal with it. We Charlie Kirked him." So like, it's just disgusting. The behavior is disgusting, and it's kind of scary, to be fair. And like, to want to not sound like a pussy, it's fucking scary what's going on. And in my stupid brain, I don't know how that gets fixed. It seems that we're going back to being racist, and it really came from the other side. But what that's done is it's created this thing in the people that were never like that. People that would never feel this way towards other people, whatever, are now like, and it feels wrong because you're going against your own fucking morals. Who else we got here? We got GT Weber. How you doing? Previn. I fucking hate these ads. In my opinion, just watch old Stargate. I watched old Andromeda on free YouTube last week, and it was as great as I remember. Don't get me wrong, like, I'm going through, like I said, I think I've mentioned, my 4th watch through of Stargate SG-1. And you got to think, like, 4 times, that's nothing. You think about how many times you've watched Star Wars. These are like, a 2-hour movie compared to what? Oh man, I'd have to work it out. It's like, so you got 10 seasons at, let's say, an average of 24 episodes a season. So that's 240 episodes. And they're hour-long episodes, basically. So you got 240 hours of Stargate. So I'm on my 4th watch through. It was actually really awesome because it's my mate's first time watching through it. And we only get to like my 4th watch. Like I binged a lot when I watched it the first 3 times. But this time, like he comes over sort of once a week, my mate does, and we sit down and we watch 2 episodes, basically. And last week we got to watch the last 2 episodes of season 7. And fuck, man, is that not one of the greatest season finales and twists and cliffhangers that you have ever seen? It's amazing. It's amazing. It's actually amazing. And if they can recreate something like that, because you got to think about it. With that battle that happens at the end of season 7. Now, if you guys haven't watched Stargate and you don't want spoilers, as much as I'd want you to hang around with only 14 viewers here, go away, come back in a couple of minutes because I'm going to be fucking going through some Stargate right now. And I will say hello to the rest of the chat. Mike Hill, I see you. But that season finale, I can't even begin to tell you. I love the 2-parter of it. I love the build-up of that season finale is so good because you've got Richard Hammond that's being replaced by Dr. Elizabeth Warren. I think that's right. So you got that coming out. You've got SG-1 that ends up getting sanctioned to go on a mission. They're trying to find the lost city. We're getting really deep into it now. They're trying to find the lost city, and they've got an ancient site that they can go to that they need to try and figure out how to interface with the technology so that they can try and get the information without having to kill someone in, getting the information put into their brains. And that you don't expect that, like the entire purpose of that mission is to find the lost city. And then, they get put under attack. They get attacked while they're doing that. Daniel goes to put his head in there and Jack's like, are you kidding me? No way am I letting you do this. And he puts his head in there and he gets the information put in. And with where they are right now, there is no way that they can reverse what has happened to Jack or what happened to Jack last time, knowing the information, knowing what's going to happen, right? So that's the entire mission. And now all they're doing at this point in time is now waiting for Jack to retain the information or somehow figure it out and give them the information. Now, I believe that if I was about to say Apophis didn't attack. Who attacks him? What's his name? The one that's half ascended, half Gould. Oh, why am I blanking now? I just watched it fucking 4 days ago. Oh my God. Bob Chapek. Anyway, it'll come to me. No, it's not Ball. He comes in and attacks. Now, if he didn't attack, I truly believe that Jack would have retrieved the correct information because that, like, the ancient part in his blood, and that's the thing that I love too that's coming. Why are you cutting out? Am I cutting out, chat? Are you just trolling me, big face? Fuck you. And this is where the ads are fucking me up. Fucking thank you, Anubis. Yes. Anubis comes in and attacks. If he hadn't have done that, I truly believe that Jack would have got the correct information to find the lost city. But because they attacked, Jack immediately, the ancient part of Jack immediately takes over. And now with all the information that he's got in his head to equip the weapon that's on Earth. But the only way to do that is to get the power cell from the other planet. And like the entire, that's the twist in the story. But then the crazy part at the end is that obviously Jack has to sacrifice himself. He gets put to sleep in the cryogenic chamber after saving everybody again. But even like Hammond's courage, you know, the president puts him on Prometheus. And Prometheus is just hovering over the ship while they're drilling the hole into the ice. And he's sitting there. Just sitting there, and obviously they've got all their gliders now, and it's awesome because it's a great reveal that they've been working on the technology, and it's now equated into now they've got a bit of a fleet. Well, not really a fleet. They've got a mothership with some gliders, right? But it was enough to help defend them in that moment that they needed. And then Hammond just flies directly at Anubis's ship. And then Jack unleashes the weapon and destroys the fleet, which, again, just, it was so awesome. It's so awesome. And even watching it again for the fourth time, like, awesome. Fucking awesome. So, again, if they, like, I just want to say, if they can recreate something like that with this new show, and look, I never got anything as big as that in any of the parts of Atlantis that I watched. You know. Oh, there's another great scene. I can't remember whether or not it's in the first part or the second part. I think it's the second part. But it's actually probably one of the best scenes. I know, like, all of these people, and we're going to talk about it, all of these people want this Sam Jack fucking relationship thing. The shipping of Sam and Jack pisses me off. I know Anna even wants that. Confirm that that's canon, that those two ended up together. I fucking hate that narrative. I feel like they played on it so much and it was so cheesy and everything. It was the most cheesy part of the whole thing. But that's not what it was. It was actually a scene between Tilk and Jack, where Tilk comes in and Jack's working on the ring platform to be able to drill the hole into the ice, and Jack's working on that. And Tilk comes over and he's just talking to him and he's like, "Can you even understand anything that I'm saying?" Because, you know, this friendship, it's, you know, it's a pretty big bond that these two guys have going into war together. And, you know, Jack saving Tilk's life, and, you know, even going back to some of those early episodes, or even the first episode in it, where Tilk says, like, many people have said this, but you're the first person that I believe that can, you know, actually go to war against the Gould. So going all the way back to that, and there's just this one bit where Tilk crouches down to, like, you know, basically try and say what Jack means to him, and Jack just turns to him and puts his hand on his cheek, puts his actual hand on his cheek and just looks at him. But then, like, you know, moves his hand to his shoulder. But just in that moment, like, he didn't have to even say anything. And he doesn't say anything. And it's one of the best scenes in the entire fucking show. One of the best scenes in the entire show. I see you, Gabriel Knight. Who else have we got here? Geordie, I see you as well. Papa Palpatine's Pizza Padawan. We're getting snow and ice here. Yeah, the seasons are changing. Well, we're going into summer now, but I do suffer from, like, hay fever pretty bad, obviously, especially in the springtime. But today's one of the worst days that I've had. I woke up, both of my eyes are so itchy. And, like, before the stream started, I swear there was something, like, in my eye, and there was, like, nothing. And then you can hear it in my voice. And I didn't expect it to hit me that, like, when I woke up, I didn't sort of feel like this. And then it sort of just slowly crept up on me. Mr. Tex, see, like, what's with the ads? Gifted a membership, thank you. Big phrase, were you trolling me? We need to strike back. Now's the time. Oh, you're on the train. That's why. Caw-caw! Nuisance bird, how you doing? Obviously, Blake's in the chat. How you doing, Blake? Ball, like, obviously, Ball just gets lucky in the end, really. With SG1 killing off Ra, Apophis, like some of the bigger ones, the bigger names, Anubis, obviously, Ball just gets lucky. He becomes a fucking asshole. Let's see. Lara, I'm glad she jumps in, like, at the beginning of the streams now. It reminds me that she's always here. Thank you again for the super thanks as well. I appreciate it. All right. Let's talk about some shit. So I actually forgot to get my headphones set up. I just saw this and, not in the title or anything, but it's interesting because, we're constantly seeing these people that do these interviews on stars and, actors and actresses and stuff like this. And the questions that are being asked of these people is designed, obviously, to trigger like a viral clip or a viral comment or something that triggers one side or the other side of the political aisle right now. And that's where we are. It's no longer about necessarily the entertainment or what they're even trying to promote, the movie or the show, or if it is, they use that to say, yes, it's now time for this type of person, black, white, male, female, that kind of thing, to be represented, blah, 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 blah. But I really feel like, it's kind of like with the Sydney Sweeney thing, right? The person can't even look her in the eyes and goes, oh, I thought I'd just give you the opportunity to, speak about that, seeing as we're speaking about it, not even looking at her. You've got that guy that always asks the question, oh, is this the gayest fucking reporter that you've ever fucking seen? Yes. Like, that's... Sydney is awesome as fuck. I agree. But all of that is all designed just... And it's disingenuous because... nobody cares about that, and you're only doing it to try and get the viral clip. So what you're basically saying is your job is more important to get the click than it is to actually just speak about what it is that, let's say, the entertainment is that you're supposed to be talking about. But this just came across my sort of timeline, and I'm no massive fan of Kevin Hart. I'm definitely not a big fan of Kevin Hart. I think that, like, there was a moment there, I think in Jumanji, he was really fucking good with The Rock. I thought that, I actually think that that's one of The Rock's best movies in regards to his acting performance, and probably Kevin Smith. Although Kevin Smith just plays pretty much Kevin Smith, right? But I thought his answer to this is very based. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. His answer to this is very based, but at the same time, like, I want you to look at the attitude of this. Now, I don't know what this interview is. I don't know whether or not he's even promoting anything. You've got this pink background. You got this book, Black Friend. I don't know. I don't know what he's on this show or on this podcast or whatever for. Kevin Smith, Kevin Hart. Oh my God. Is that a dude? Just first of all, we're just going to get the question out in the way that she asked the question.
Would you rather have a gay son or a thought daughter?
Would you rather have a gay son or a thought daughter? Just the way that she even, the arrogance in the question. That could be a dude, actually. That could very well be a dude. I don't know where this entitled fucking energy comes from. Yeah, 66%.
I would rather have 2 healthy kids. Like, it doesn't matter to me.
I love his like, because like again, I swear, almost immediately you think that is a retarded fucking question. It's a retarded question. I would rather have neither, to be honest with you. But you know, that also becomes a responsibility on the parents to be loving, caring parents, and also to try and guide them from an early age to recognize what's good and what's bad and what's right and what's wrong and what's normal and natural and all of that sort of thing. You know, that I would try and push them in that direction. Now, if things go wrong, and there's very good chance that things are going to go wrong, well, then things go wrong, but you handle those at the time, but you do the best that you can do, instilling your morals and your integrity and how you perceive life to be in your kids. So, my daughter, if I had a daughter, I would, not teach her that being a slut is okay. That wouldn't be okay. And if I had a son, I would, push him more in the direction of the nuclear family, marriages between a man and a woman, and liking the female figure, liking the female body, liking females, being sexually attracted to women. That's what that's the morals that I would instill in my children, or try to instill in my children. Now, if I was to do that, let's say with my son, and he was to turn out to be gay, well, then I'd cross that bridge when I come to it. I don't know how I would react to that. Same thing, though, with the daughter. If I was to try and instill not being a slut in my daughter, and then she goes off and she's a slut, well, then I would have to, in myself, like, where did I go wrong? What did I do for that to end up happening? And his reaction is perfect, because it's like, almost what the fuck are you talking about? What are we talking about? What am I doing here? Almost looks like a pirate. Arr! So again, just his reaction.
I would rather have 2 healthy kids. Like, it doesn't matter to me.
And even in that, like that awkward silence that comes afterwards is actually kind of funny too. It's actually kind of funny too, because like, I'm just going to say it is expecting more to the answer, and that's the answer. But now with the expectation of more,
2 healthy children. And the fact that you have to like put them in those categories says a lot about who you are.
Oh, no, don't you dare.
Oh, I didn't even know that he called her out.
I'm just telling you, I think the real problem is in the thinker, not the answerer. The thinker. Maybe you should just ponder on that for a second.
Would you rather have
Wow, he calls her out. Is it a bit? I don't think it's a bit. But I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is actually from. Imagine if it was just AI and I just got duped again. It could be. It could be. But see, I don't think like I'm not going to say that there's not a problem with a lot of the Hollywood actors and that Hollywood bubble and everything right now out there. I don't think that justifies anything for them and how their behavior in the last probably decade, right? But I think some of them are starting to now see the writing on the wall. You know, they thought that they could be these activists and everything, still get away with it, still be the big movie star, and everyone's still going to love them. And that's not what happened. And these people are so narcissistic that they can't handle that. They can't handle the fact that they know that there's people out there that actually hate them. You know, they probably always thought, yeah, there's people out there that hate me, but they never saw it on such a level like this. And then you look at that the actors are probably even looking at some of these scripts and going, man, the audio, like they're thinking in the back of their minds, the audio's got to fucking hate this. They can't be that stupid. I'm not saying that they're not stupid, but they can't be that stupid. You know what I'm saying? Ultimate Rockman. How you doing? They can't be that stupid. I see you, Soul Assassin, doing your modern. Thank you. Smash the like button, everyone. Hey, guess what? Also, too, so in my tweet, but also in the description of the video of this stream, it's sort of half my birthday. I don't really want to do it on this stream, and I was thinking about it. I'm like, because my birthday's on Monday, right? And I don't really care. It's just another fucking birthday. But I don't really celebrate it with anyone. I don't really celebrate my birthday. It's not really something that I've done for a while now. But like even my 40th, I was going to go to the casino with my mates and just play some blackjack. We didn't even end up doing that. We didn't end up doing anything. But so yeah, my birthday is on the 1st. On Monday, and I was thinking about it. I'm like, do I do a sort of birthday stream? Like, I'll have shots and stuff. We'll have a few drinks and everything. Do I do a birthday stream this week or do I do it next week? And I'm like, I counted the days from today to Monday and then Monday to next Thursday, and it's obviously shorter, so we're doing it next week. Doing it next week. But thank you. Happy birthday, dude. Appreciate that. My birthday's the 9th of December. Very nice. Sagittarius. Very cool. Yeah, so next week we'll celebrate a birthday. And we'll be celebrating it. The cool thing is that Flashcast happens like the day before my birthday. So we'll have a good birthday celebration on Flashcast as well. Come to the Sex Club, Rhino, in Collingwood tonight. I'll have you meet one of my girls. LOL. All right. Collingwood, that's not far. That's not far at all. But yes, going back to this, I think the actors are starting to see a little bit of the writing on the wall, at least maybe some of them. You know, you look at what Jennifer Lawrence has said recently. You look at the way, what's her name? Oh man, why am I blank? Oh, man, I am so fucking retarded today. Fucking, she laughed at the J.K. Rowling comment. Keira Knightley. You know, and like she kind of half giggled at that fucking trans comment or whatever. And she got some shit for that, but did she come out and apologize after that? I don't think so. That's the thing. The power of the cancel mob and the you know, the word police and the moral police and all of that kind of shit, they're getting weaker. They're getting much, much weaker by the fucking day. By the fucking day. All right. Now, I just wanted to quickly touch on the Wicked thing because, and it's not anything, it's more to do with the fucking how weird these two chicks are, to be fair. I just saw this, and this is one of Ariana Grande's fans. She's just giving him a hug. And like the question is, what do you notice? Cynthia Erivo, like if you zoom in on, she's not happy, man. She's not happy. And we've now got video of that. I didn't realize that there was actually video of that. But like I had the other clips that we had, like that we talked about, I think last week, where they're just fucking completely ignoring the interviewer in this and just.
And I hope you will be there for us, Smile. I will be.
I can't watch it again. And obviously Ariana Grande by herself because Cynthia, she can do is direct her where to look. I don't understand what's going on. These people are fucking weird. Fucking weird. But like, there was also this that came up, and I didn't realize that Michelle Yeoh was even in it. But like, you look at some of the, and it's not just these three either. Ozempic or whatever, there was some singer that did a video and she was on Ozempic and lost a heap of weight and everything, but now she's lost bone density or something like that. And like, that's one of the side effects of taking it. And you fucking look at this and it's like, yeah, no shit. Like, oh, hang on. Let's open this in a new tab. Shall we? Did it do it there? It did. So like, that's Cynthia Erivo. Like, that's very bad quality picture, but even still, you can tell. Wow. Like, okay, just looking at this, like the big differences that I notice is like the nose. Look at the nose. Massive difference in the nose, massive difference in the lips. Obviously, the neck and the size and the weight and everything. But then you also look at these people's hands and they're fucking crazy. She used to be incredibly hot. Incredibly hot. And now, like, dude, sunken in cheeks, like, empty eye sockets. Fucking, like, crazy. But this was the one that shocked me, honestly. Because how old is she now? That is what meth does. That's exactly what meth does. It makes me wonder whether or not like Ozempic is just like, you know how cold and flu tablets used to have speed in them? So that you didn't get drowsy from the shit that's doing the work? And you were able to work through pseudoephedrine? Pseudoephedrine, not pseudoephedrine. Yeah. That's why I used to get these people that used to fucking steal fucking shit tons of fucking cold and flu tablets and then cook it down so that they could get all the pseudo out of it and then just make speed. So it wouldn't surprise me if that is the case. But yeah, crazy to see that. But let's just check out the video. So, like I said, this just popped up. out of nowhere before I started the stream again. I'm like, I wasn't even looking for a video of it. I was just going to use the still shot because the still shot for me is enough. Like, she can't handle it. You look at how Cynthia Erivo reacted when that person jumped out on the fucking stage. Now, good on her for jumping in there and pushing him off her, and he shouldn't have done that. And yes, there is that element to it, but she is obviously very protective of Ariana Grande. What? Ariana Grande. Fuck. She's very protective. And then you saw the one where that guy was interviewing or whatever, and he grabs her arm and shakes it around, and she's like all protective of her. But let's check out the video. Funny. Because he's just talking about how all he could do in the darkest moments of his life was listen to her music. And she looks scared of him. She looks so uncomfortable. And then she walks over and she's just like disgusted. I think she's racist. Now, yes, Ariana Grande is obviously not black, right? But I think she's a sexist racist. So she hates the white men. And even if they are, because it wouldn't surprise me if this dude's gay. I can't really hear, you know. Oh no, definitely. I just needed to watch him in the clip. That first bit where he grabs his cheeks and he's like, this, gay, for sure. For sure. Look at that. So even though he's gay, that's oh, well, she could be afraid because most of the violence these days is coming from the LGBTQ side. Dude, I'm not going to be able to say that in Australia soon. I'll get arrested for that. Actually, it wouldn't surprise me if I got arrested today for that. But it's true. And that's why maybe she is so terrified and so uncomfortable in this moment. But it is fucking weird. This whole fucking thing is weird. I don't care about the performance of the movie. It's going to do fucking well, and it's been doing well as far as I've been hearing. But it is pretty crazy to think that anybody that seems to have worked on this just comes out of it looking absolutely sick. Like, did you go to the toilet straight after you ate? I don't know. Is that what the devil told you to do? These people, man, selling their souls. Selling their souls to the devil. Let's get rid of those tabs. Oh, God. I'm just going through my remaining tabs and it's like, fuck. Let's talk about something cool. Something that I saw that was cool before we get into the Star Wars crap. I am the devil. I believe you. Seen Melvin's live or Tim's video about the Hope grifting? No, I can't say I have. Was that from Melvin's stream yesterday? I think that the Star Wars fan base doesn't. The Disney Star Wars fan base, is so small. that it barely even exists. You look at the petitions that they've done for the Save the Acolyte, and then you look at the petition and everything that they did for this Ben Solo thing, and they both come out of the same fucking... Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy, though, to think that the fans that want the Renew the Acolyte are the same fans that want this stupid Ben Solo thing that isn't even really a thing? They made something out of nothing. They made, like, this bigger than it actually is. And it's not to say that they've got the power to make it bigger than it is. I'm just saying that they have concentrated all their attention now on that nothing else in right now is really being discussed. Not that there is anything else really to discuss about Star Wars, but like, okay, you think about the lead up to The Mandalorian and Grogu. Where is any hype talk or anything behind that? Why are we talking about Star Wars when I fucking didn't want to go straight into that? I wanted to talk about this. So apparently somebody found an amazing comic book, copy of the first Superman issue. But the grade of this book, I think it's the only one. Obviously, it says they're valued, netted 9.12 million at a Texas auction. Let's check this thing out.
So we had for auction the very highest certified graded copy of Superman #1, graded 9.0 on a scale of 1 to 10.
No fucking... Man, did you see that Indian guy in Adelaide? Taking a shit on the side of the fucking road? Did you see the Parliament? Did you see the blackout in Parliament? That you could not script. The energy minister, just so that you know, guys, fuck you, big phrase. The energy minister just finished talking about fucking the energy saving and the green energy and all of this kind of thing, and started going into a different topic and started talking about something else, and then the power went out in Parliament. They had a blackout. Fucking, you can't write this shit. It's hilarious. Fuck you, big phrase. We're not doing that.
And there was a lot of spirited bidding. It shattered the previous world record. And I think a lot of people, globally got very excited to see something like this. And I think what actually really added to the story was how it was found, that this was, a new find that no one had ever seen before.
What the fuck did I do? You made me talk about Australia.
A few months ago, a form was submitted through our website.
Look at the quality of that.
They had a Superman #1 and a few other comic books. And as you can imagine, we get a lot of requests like that. There's a lot of reprints of Superman 1. And luckily, they had some nice pictures. So I immediately called them, and they told me they found it in the attic in San Francisco area while they were cleaning out her mother's house, and it ended up being in unbelievable condition. So
a 9.0.
I jumped on the next flight and flew out to San Francisco and went and saw it in person. It's one of the most desirable comic books that you could own. It's in the very highest grade. It's the original printing. It has a great story behind it. It's not something that had been in the hobby, sold previously, that anyone knew about. So I think it was just a lot of people got excited because it's just every factor in collecting that you could possibly want all rolled into one.
It's so cool because, like, the fact that they just found it in the attic, the fact that they just found this fucking thing in the attic in that condition, that's stumbling upon a fucking Tats Lotto ticket. A $9 million comic book. Fucking awesome. Fucking awesome. Wouldn't that be cool? Anyway, I thought that was really, really cool. Fucking, I'd love that. But it also makes me think about when I had a lot of Lego, obviously, as a kid. And a lot of old Lego too. I remember I had this one specific pirate ship, and it was a couple of years ago that I searched this, but I searched I tried to find the exact same one, and I could only find like one or two, and they were going for like 2.5 grand. And these are open, obviously. There was one that had no packaging, and there was one that still had packaging, both opened, and they were both around like between the $2,000 and $3,000 range. And I had that exact thing. And I just remember all of my Lego ended up getting sold at a garage sale, like 2 massive tubs. I had a massive racetrack, like from sort of like what they considered now to be Lego City stuff. It was never Lego City back then. It was just Lego, as far as I can remember, unless I was just too young to remember that it was still Lego City. But like I had this racetrack, you had the Lego platforms, and you built the stands and stuff, and then you had your little race cars and your Lego race cars. That was fucking awesome. I don't know what something like that would be worth now in the old Lego. But like I had 2 massive, those plastic tubs, pretty much full of Lego. Both of them got sold for $30 at a garage sale. And then it also makes me think about, I also had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sewer set, the sewer play set, the van with the door that swung out like that. Michelangelo would sit on there. What else did I have? I had 2 or 3 foot soldiers. I had Rocksteady and Bebop. I had Splinter. I had obviously all the Turtles. I had Shredder. I had Crane. And again, all of that got sold at garage sale. It makes me fucking wish that we just fucking kept everything. I had Transformers, old school Transformers. And all of these things were played with. All of them were used, opened, played with, everything. But for stuff that's that old, it doesn't matter anymore. God. Makes me wish I never got rid of it all. Do I need my headphones on? I will eventually. I'll just take them off for the moment. My ears are fucking sweating. How y'all doing, chat? How y'all doing? And we are going to talk a little bit more about Stargate. Because that's what we're going to we're probably going to do watch review videos for that. Sort of the same thing that we were doing for Star Wars stuff. Do you remember Mighty Max? Of course I remember Mighty Max. Do you remember Super Ted? He came across a spotty man. Biker Mice. Captain Planet. Oh, I had some He-Man stuff. Sorry, He-Man. I did actually have some He-Man stuff, but I had some G.I. Joes. I had some G.I. Joes. I remember watching Trapdoor. And I didn't really care anything for Trapdoor. I just hated the fact that it used up time before I think X-Men came on. Something. There was always something on after Trapdoor that I always wanted to, I was always waiting for, and Trapdoor would come on and do their quick 5-10 minute episode thing. And then fucking you'd get your X-Men. Danger Mouse. Yep. I remember Danger Mouse. Count Duckula. I remember watching Dinosaurs too. Is it just called Dinosaurs? Where it was almost like fucking Roseanne, but dinosaurs. That's that always equated to me was like the Roseanne show, but dinosaurs version. Yeah. Fucking good times. Back when fucking kids entertainment was actually kids entertainment, and it actually taught kids the difference between good and bad, and you know, having morals and having integrity. Taught kids how to be kind, how to be good people. Fucking kids entertainment ain't like that these days. Fucking, in fact, all entertainment used to at least fucking, you know, most good entertainment used to touch on some sort of, you know, emotion, making you think about something. You know, comedies could even do that back in the day. This you can also watch on. Well, dude, the thing is if I was to ever have kids, that's what I'd be showing them. They're the cartoons that I put on, especially from a young age. Kids would not care what, like, you know, before they can even speak or anything like that. They're not going to care. It's just colors and fucking movement on screen or whatever. If they were ever watching something like that, but if I was to ever sit my kids down in front of the TV, you know, here, watch a movie, watch a show, I'd be going back to 90s kids entertainment, maybe even early 2000s kids entertainment, you know, and just putting that on for them. There's no way that I'd make them watch new stuff or give them new stuff to watch. No fucking way. I don't even remember the end of the Dinosaurs movie, but it was depressing and dark. But see, this is the other thing too. Even for kids shows, there was a lot of, you know, you used to hate the bad guy. You used to want the good guy to win. There was never this cloudiness between good and bad, and, you know, oh, we got to sympathize with the bad guy or anything like that. And, you know, that's in adults entertainment now, but it certainly is in the kids entertainment sphere for sure. For sure. Postman Pat, Fireman Sam. Good times. Good times. Let's talk about some bad times. Star Wars. So, this literally just popped up for me, and I'm curious to know if anyone out there has actually seen anything about this. But to me, what the directors put out here with this statement here doesn't really make any sense to me, and maybe you guys can help me with this. But The Mandalorian and Grogu marks a major pivot in Disney Plus's Star Wars strategy. Prioritizing a big screen return over live action series, with the Ahsoka season 2 slated for 2026. I don't understand that. Both of these are slated for 2026. Oh, no, but sorry, it says with only Ahsoka season 2 slated for 2026. But then doesn't that mean that Mandalorian and Grogu is the one that's been pushed back? They're not. It's not a major pivot in the strategy and the fact that they're prioritizing the big screen. No, they're prioritizing Ahsoka, if that's the case. This doesn't make any sense to me. Because wasn't The Mandalorian and Grogu supposed to come out? Now, we're going to have to do a little bit of investigation here. Hold on. Mando and Grogu. Release date. It still says May 22, 2026. Ahsoka release date. I don't understand. Like, this is just I don't know why they're putting this out there. It does, like, I can't find anything where anyone's making any statements about Mandalorian and Grogu being delayed or anything like that. But then prioritizing the big screen over live action series with only Ahsoka season 2 slated for 2026. That doesn't make sense. And Ahsoka is still slated for August, September of 2026. I don't know. Clickbait? Mate, yeah, probably. It has to be. So, like I said, I only just saw it again before the stream started, and I'm like, hang on. First of all, that statement doesn't make sense to me. Because if they were prioritizing the big screen, they already are, based on those release dates, they already are prioritizing the big screen over live action show. So I don't know what you're trying to get at there with that direct. But then there was also a little bit of stuff that they released for this. A new promo video for The Mandalorian and Grogu has been released. Starring guess who? 20 seconds. What do we got? Oh, of course, the sound. Oh, it's shuffled. Okay. It shuffled. Oh, Baby Yoda. Sorry, I didn't know what it said before. Into just Grogu. That's for a different country. "21 Di Maio. Solo en Cines. Sinus? Cine. I don't know. I don't even know how I sound saying that shit. Oh, what a great promotion. What a great promotion. You've had 3 seasons of The Mandalorian, and people are still calling Grogu Baby Yoda. The normies out there wouldn't even know if you said, hey, who do you like better, Yoda or Grogu? They're probably like, who's Grogu? And you're having to do promotional stuff because there'd be people out there that read the title Mandalorian and Grogu and be like, who's Grogu? That's funny. That's actually funny to me. And they released a poster. Wow. Wow. Is it again? 21 Des Mayo. Cool poster. Blake, where are you at? We're doing poster reviews. Oh, and apparently, okay, so Zootopia, they played the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer, and there were new scenes, and these are the new images. So you get Grogu using the Force again. You get the Mandalorian and Grogu on a speeder bike. You get. Well, I thought we already saw that scene. I'm guarantee we already saw that scene because I know people were talking about R4 and of course Zeb. That was in the original trailer. And whoop-de-doo, the Razor Crest. I don't think that any of this is new. Honestly, I would have to watch this trailer that they've recorded here and the original trailer that we watched. Actually, let me bring that up straight away now, and we'll go straight into it and see. Not that we fucking watching these trailers. Oops. All right, we got that lined up. No, yeah. You saw that in the original trailer. Saw this, all of this. Yep. Yep. We saw this. So in all of this. So they're saying that this is a new scene, so we'll see. This is a new scene. I thought, really? See, this to me just seems like more clickbait.
Impressive.
That little clip in there was a new shot, apparently. Doesn't look new to me either. Cheap and cheesy as fuck. Okay, this end scene is different. That's different. But I'm sure I've seen that scene before, but it is different. So this is the trailer that we got. That's all the same. It's all the same. Okay, so there are differences, yes. But it is basically the same. See, when that ship went through, yes, it does cut. So there's scenes in there that are different. There's Zeb there.
Impressive.
Yeah, see, he didn't do the jump and swing across in that. So basically, they're just giving you more, like they're the same scenes. That's why it didn't feel any different. They're from the same scenes, but they're different clips from the same scene. By the time we see this movie, you will have seen the movie. By the time the movie comes out, I should say, you will have seen the movie. That's different. Yeah, okay. Same. Same major moment. Different little clips in between. Is there a bit at the end of this? Oh, this one, yep.
Good shot, baby.
Notice how that end scene is all Grogu, though. You got Grogu squirting his jizz in that fucking animal's face, and you've got him crushing a fucking mouse droid. There you go. So, yeah, okay. There's differences. There's more than just those differences too, actually. But like I said, it's basically more scenes from the same, cuts from the same scenes. That bit is cool. Which bit is cool? What are you talking about, Big Phrase?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? John Gets Gaming for 8 months. Thank you, John. Says over under on this movie making 400 million at the global box office. Remember, in 2025, when the question would have been over under $1 billion for any Star Wars movie, show the direction of Star Wars. Shows the direction of Star Wars these days. Over and under on 400 million. I think over, but not much. I honestly think it'd be. Originally, I was saying like I think that this thing's only going to make 500 million. I think that it could hit 5 to 600 million is where I'm going to sit, and I think I'm going to stick to around that. So we'll say 550, just so that I can give a figure. I'd say 550 million. That's my guess. And yes, it will show where Star Wars is right now. It will show it for sure where Star Wars is right now. And it's not going to be very good. They're going to see fucking their diminishing returns on their $4 billion investment. This is going to rattle them. This is going to rattle them because it's also going to rattle the fucking investors, I think. This movie will finally retcon the sequel trilogy. I'd like to say I wish, but I don't care. Because what does retconning the sequel trilogy do? You got to retcon all Star Wars now, basically. So that's the Mandalorian and Grogu stuff. Again, that to me is clickbait. You're 100% right. And whew, man, Star Wars is in some fucking deep water. Fucking deep water. And then there was this. So Sean Levy shared how Kathleen Kennedy influenced his approach to Star Wars Starfighter. I said, what's it a prequel to? What's it a sequel to? And she said, whatever you want. Make it feel like your movies feel. What has Sean Levy done? It was just this incredibly empowering opportunity. So, okay. I think I've looked this up before, but so Sean Levy did Deadpool and Wolverine. That's nothing to that's not anything special. Free Guy. So these are more recent. He did Night at the Museum. He did Real Steel. Still in a fair few comedies. The Internship. I never watched that. He's done all of the Night of Museums. He did the Pink Panther. Is that right? Is that right? Just Married, Cheaper by the Dozen. Did he do that? There's nothing there that would inspire me as a president of Lucasfilm for somebody to come to me and ask me, like, where do you want, like, what do you want me to do? Where do you want this placed? Blah, 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 blah. And just for me to say, make it feel like one of your movies, like make it feel like your movies feel and how your movies feel. And I like how it's the feeling of the movie as well. Not the it's the way the movie feels. How your movies feel. Put your Sean Levy twist on it. You got the job because of Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't doubt that. Some other comedy. So another comedy, yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how they bring comedy into, because don't get me wrong, there's always been a bit of comedy in Star Wars, but it's been completely natural in the way that it feels, and the reactions from people are completely natural. You know, like we don't have time to discuss this in a committee. I'm not a committee. You know, I'd say that's a comedy twist. Not that it sits there and makes you like, belly laughs or anything like that. But it's definitely a comedic, funny moment in a stressful, high, intense moment. But it works and it fits, right? And then you've got Sean Levy has revealed tons of new details about Star Wars Starfighter, including what unexpected Star Wars movie is it is most similar to? What? What unexpected Star Wars movie it is most similar to? How he reworked the entire third act. Okay. The composer and mandate from Kathleen Kennedy. So the mandate from Kathleen Kennedy was obviously this, right? Well, we're gone too far. Do whatever the fuck you want. The mandate is to make it feel like your fucking thing and more. Does it give it just in dot points? Because I'm not fucking reading this whole fucking thing. It's going to break it all fucking down, isn't it? Okay. I don't even fucking care. This is the problem that you've got, Star Wars. No one cares anymore. Just read the quotes. No, I don't even care. Kathleen Kennedy's mandated you to do something. You're hoping that Ryan Gosling's name brings people to the theaters, and he's not. That whole thing doesn't exist anymore. You're going to have to bring cameos in for anyone to show any sort of interest. I wonder why he had to rework the third act. I don't fucking care. I don't know if this is true or not. I just saw Anna posted this. Did anyone respond? Of any fucking, probably not. Why would anyone of any fucking relevance fucking want, like, you know, from the Star Wars thing, respond to fucking Anna? They would hate her because she's a fucking real Star Wars fan. Starkiller will appear in Ahsoka Season 2 as the new son of Mortis. At this point in time, like, do it. I keep saying it. Renew the Acolyte. Do the return of Ben Solo. Do all the things that the Disney Star Wars fans, your fans that you've culminated, actually want. They'll all go and see it. Nobody else will. The 4,000 or 5,000 people out there that are interested in that garbage will go and see it. Maybe the 45,000. Let's be a little bit more realistic. They got what, 45,000 signatures on the Renew the Acolyte petition. No, let's split that in half, because let's say that each one of those people has 2 accounts. 20,000 people. Yo, how you doing? Fucking, I hate these @ names. It's really starting to piss me off. Where else are we? What else have we got? Oh, John, that's right. Jon Favreau says The Mandalorian and Grogu not repackaged season 4. Connects to Ahsoka. So hang on, what's he saying? Connects to Ahsoka, The Mandalorian and Grogu, or The Mandalorian season 4? I heard a thing in regards to this, that Jon Favreau was saying that no, this is not a redo or a remake or whatever or a restructuring of season 4 of The Mandalorian. I've still got season 4 of The Mandalorian on my desk. Now, let's talk about the timeline of events here. We've had Mandalorian season 1, 2, and 3. When did Mandalorian season 3 come out? Okay, good. So, Mandalorian season 3 came out before Star Wars Celebration. Came out in March 1st, 2023. Star Wars Celebration was October, I believe, of 2023. So, we get at the end of 2023, they make the announcement of the 3 fucking movies that they're going to be doing. You've got fucking James Mangold's fucking, Dawn of the Jedi fucking bullshit. You had Dave Filoni's fucking movie, and you had Charmin Obaid-Chinoy and the fucking announcement of the Rey movie. Charmin Obaid-Chinoy opens her mouth. Now, they already had season 4 written and ready to go when they finished season 3. Jon Favreau was talking about that. He had it all written at the same time. He wrote season 2 as 3 and 4 together, right? Charmin Obaid-Chinoy opens her mouth. At the beginning of 2024, shit did not die down. So Lucasfilm make the announcement, The Mandalorian and Grogu is this movie that's in production 3 months after Star Wars Celebration of 2023. Out of nowhere. You would think if they were going to announce it 3 months after, they would have just announced it at Star Wars Celebration. But that was the cover-up, right? That was the distraction to get away from Charmin Obaid-Chinoy and the disaster that fucking Rey and the sequel trilogy still brings to the Star Wars franchise. And then that movie is able to get made and everything, written, produced, made, and everything before the 3 movies that they announced at Star Wars Celebration prior to the announcement of that movie. And this is what, a year basically after the announcement is a year after they fucking released The Mandalorian season 3. And we're supposed to think that this was all a part of the plan, that this movie was always supposed to be inserted in between season 3 and 4, but it never got announced, even at Star Wars Celebration. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. It's all bullshit. You continue to lie to the fans, and the fucking retards out there continue sitting there and going, see, they've got a plan. They've got, the fucking shills and the seals out there are going to play their fucking game. I'm not buying it. I'm not stupid. I'm dumb, but I ain't stupid. Sometimes I'm stupid and I ain't dumb. The one thing I'm not is retarded. Like the fucking Disney Star Wars fans that are out there. So retarded. They're the typical libs. They're the typical libs that when you start to combat their viewpoints and their arguments, they just start calling you names and walk away from the conversation. Or resort to violence. One of those three things. Or all of the above. So, fuck, man. The Mandalorian and Grogu is going to be so interesting. Like, so interesting just to see what the hell happens with it. And then there was this stupid thing. Millie I'm not even going to bring it up. I can actually. This was just stupid. Millie Bobby Brown wants to get Han and Leia's iconic "I love you, I know" exchange tattooed on her. Okay. Is she just trying to get a? Is she just trying to get a role in Star Wars now? Now that she's finished with Stranger Things, is this just what she wants to do now? This reminds me of the please Queen Kathleen Kennedy, Leslie Headland on the red carpet. Like, I'm such a big Star Wars fan. I want to get a Star Wars quote tattooed on my body. Can I have a job now, please? So what? She even wants to get like it written like. So she's saying Star Wars. So she wants to get this tattooed. Star Wars. I love you. I know. She wants to get that actually tattooed on her from The Empire Strikes Back. I just love that. I love that. I love that line. It's so cute. Okay. If you say so. If you say so. What else have we got here? Oh, and then there was all the Leslie Headland stuff that came out. You know, I got to say, I agree with Leslie on the fact that Star Wars doesn't drive the culture anymore when it comes to Star Wars, like the actual entertainment, the actual product of Star Wars. What drives any influence and any conversation around Star Wars is us. And it's more culturally relevant than the actual shit that you're putting out. The problem with that, and the thing that you fail to realize is that because the shit that you're putting out, you're aging it. It's like, you know, Star Wars, original Star Wars is completely timeless. You know, all of these IPs that we've watched, and you know, from the 90s, from even earlier, whatever, they're all timeless. Yeah, you might not have new phones and stuff in these old movies and shows. They've got the old ringers and stuff like that, you know. But they still hold up. You know why? Because the writing and the story is actually good. And that's all that matters. People will look past the fact that, and they don't even need to look past the fact it was just when it was set, the time period that it was set in. But, you know, it's just, again, the same play from the same playbook. At the end of the day, she did blame the fans. You know, she went a long way around it. A long way around it. And, you know, the people that she loves are the people that love her shit. The fans that she likes are the fans that love her shit. And that's why she can't just sit there and say, oh, the entire Star Wars fandom is toxic and fucking misogynistic and they're fucking racist and they're this and they're that and they're fascist. Fucking, I don't understand that. When you've got somebody that you just don't like now, they're just a fascist. Once again, these words, they use them so willy-nilly and so out of place and so not what the word was designed to be used for, and it starts losing its meaning. And that's why they shift from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, because once it's played its course and people are just now laughing in their faces, oh, we've got to call them something else. So this was just one of Leslie Edlin's quotes. The Acolyte creator, Leslie Edlin, says she has no regrets. Well, that's good. Even when you worked for Harvey Weinstein, no regrets from that time period either. Obviously, she's just talking about her Star Wars shit. No regrets about the show and knows that it was wonderful. Yeah. You doing your fucking little thing because you and your little beef with your sister, you know, your little family feud that you needed to do a $200 million, $300 million fucking psychology session project on. I'm absolutely obsessed with Star Wars. I still am. And I love my show. And I know that, it was wonderful. Okay, Leslie, calm down. Wasn't that good? In fact, it wasn't good at all. It was shit. It wasn't Star Wars. It was your little fucking Family Feud fan fiction bullshit inserted with a Star Wars skin. To some extent. Mandalorian and Grogu will win Best Picture. So Hollywood still hasn't figured out Star Wars is dead? No, they will never figure that out. They will never figure that out. They'll just continue flogging the horse as much as they fucking can. As much as they can. Fucking joke. So, I don't know. We'll see what the fuck happens coming into next year. There's nothing for the rest of this year. But the only thing that's still yet to come out, I believe, is fucking Avatar, right? But you wait, like, it'll come around quick. Mandalorian and Grogu. March, May. It'll come quick. It'll come quick. Like a dude that's never been laid. All right, let's do the nominees for Seal of the Week, and then we're going to watch a couple of Stargate things. So we're going to talk a little bit about some shitty stuff, and then we're going to go into some cool stuff. Where am I? Fuck it, now I've got too many tabs open over here. All right. Here we go.
I'm the Jedi.
Oh, I forgot to share. Oh, we don't need audio. All right, nominee number 1 comes from Sawyer. Nobody has ever been cooler. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's nominee number 1. Nominee number 2 comes from Jenna. Again, these all 3 actually had nominees last week. Post a woman who gets hate for no reason. So she decides to put 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I can see a reason for all 4. I can actually see a reason for all 4. And nominee number 3 is, of course, J.I. Akeb. Just saw these cardboard cutouts at my local comic book store, and it made me nostalgic for just how great we had it back in 2017. Cool. All right, let's get the poll in the chat. Jesus. One, 2, and 3. There you go. Sawyer's number 1. Number 2 is Jenna. And number 3 is J.I. Akeb. J.I. Akeb. All right. 2017, great. All right, let's talk a little bit about some Stargate stuff, and we'll watch this video because this is really cool. But before we get into there, I just want to say this. I understand why there's a segment of the fan base that really does want to ship Sam and Jack together. I don't like the idea of it. I think it's cheesy, and I think it's with their positions and everything. And they definitely, like, in regards to them trying to give them the chemistry and trying to give them a relationship while at the same time being their military post and everything, they can't fucking do what they want to do. They can't give into those feelings. And they basically, by the end of SG1, it's not like obviously confirmed that they're together. In fact, there's no even implication that they are together. Not that I can remember anyway. But this is one of the things that fucking annoys me the most, or is kind of scaring me the most when it comes to it, is there's a couple of things. In that first interview, or when they announced that they were doing it, in that first stream video, whatever you want to call it, they talk about how obviously it's set in modern times because it's set on present day Earth, right? So they've obviously got to bring present day factors into that. That's scary because what's the present day factors? They did talk about how you don't have to be a Stargate fan, like going way back when, to enjoy this new Stargate show. Well, they're still going to be making stuff for them. There is good elements to that, right? They definitely need to modernize it. I mean, going back and watching, all the way from season 1 and everything, there's a few things where you kind of like, oh my God, they didn't do this. Like there's this one, and it's so silly, but there's this one warrior guy, he throws his axe, hits a guy in the chest and everything, and he's talking to Jack and Tilk and everything like that. And he's like, that's all right, come with me. And he goes, but he doesn't ever pull his axe. That's his weapon. He never pulls the axe out of the guy that he just killed. He just walks off away from his weapon, his only weapon. Mike Hill for 48 months says Sawyer has Sawyer has an OF page. Oh, an OF page. Sorry, an OF page. Capitalize that for me, Mike. The OF. OF page, do you want to see the photos? No. With the helmet, without her top on? No. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that, Mike. Nobody. He's going to send them to me anyway now, isn't he? Yeah, no. No. But yes, let's So when I see this or hear this, it worries me. I love how he just sort of rage quits after that. I do the same thing. No, he got pissed off because this isn't, you know what this is going to create? This is going to create a cameo appearance of Jack and Sam with their young children or their kids or something like that. And it's going to trigger a whole heap of fan fiction. It's going to trigger a whole heap of fucking, all these people are going to want to care about is Jack and Sam's story. Who gives a fuck? I think it ended completely fine. I don't think it needs to be canonized. Fucking let it be a mystery now in regards to where they are in their personal lives. These people forget that that Jack is a married man. Separated. I don't know. I can't remember whether or not is he still married to Sarah, or did they officially get divorced? But even still, Jack with his past relationships, his son killing himself. Yeah, they played on the chemistry, but that's the writers doing their job. That's the writers doing what they've been instructed or however they wanted to do it. Happy kind of birthday, Mr. Rhino. Yes. And the kind of, like I said, it's actually, my birthday's actually closer to next week's stream. So I thought, I was kind of, because it's pretty much right in the middle, Monday. Video was muted. Was it really? No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I don't want to listen to what fucking she has to say again. And I know that Anna did a Stargate stream yesterday with Nina and Nerd Cookies, and she said the same thing. Like, I need to see that that Jack and Sam got together. I don't know whether it's like that's. I don't think it's necessary.
I just wanted to.
I'm not going to put my headphones in. I'm going to let you guys listen to it again, because if you're trolling, then you get to hear
Oh, is it the same thing I'm going to say?
Those who know me will see this coming. I absolutely have to.
Now, I know that the women in the fandoms and stuff like that are going to care a lot more about the relationships between the characters and stuff like that, especially when it becomes like the sexual chemistry between characters.
I need Daniel and Vala together as well properly, not just like whatever.
You know, she wants that, and she wants Daniel to make sure that their relationship is better as well. Like,
David's actually gone.
He's probably just gone to the toilet. I just wanted.
And the thing is like, yeah, people might say or might argue like, hey, Daniel stayed so that he could get married. Well, they ended up fucking being married before they even fucking finished the mission in the movie, didn't they? It's the shit like this that just makes me go, okay, I'm more curious personally, like, who's the villain going to be? Who's the enemy going to be? Are there some Gould that we can... I would rather it not be replicators. I would so rather it not be the Ori. And I would so much rather it just go back to being the Gould. Now, yes, I think the technology that that Stargate or the SGC or whatever Earth has now with the ancient technology and stuff like that, and the blood and everything to be able to use the ancient technology, and they've obviously figured that out, the ZPMs, all of that. I think that the Gould are too weak now, even if, but you just don't know. You just don't know. You could have a Gould that's been fucking, comes out of the tomb, like in one of those little containers, you know, it's got a symbiote inside it, and some curious fucking, you know, discovers one and opens it up, and fucking the snake goes in him, and then they start to build a fleet and something. Like, I don't know. I don't know what they could do. I don't know who the enemy's going to be. I'm more curious about stuff like that than whether or not Sam and Jack got together. And I just feel like the more we play on this, and I knew that, like, when they announced it, I knew that this was going to be a thing. I mean, anyone who's anyone knows that this is going to be a thing. It's just, you know, it's actually season 7, the season that I just got through, where they really, really play on that fucking that chemistry and those emotions between Sam and. There's a whole fucking mission, a whole fucking episode where Sam is stranded on Prometheus in that big fart cloud, right? And she figures out how to get out of there, but she's the only one that's still on the ship. And then she starts having these fucking visions and everything. And her dad comes along and says, you know, you deserve love. You deserve love. And then she has these projections of fucking Jack, and Jack's telling her that, you know, hey, like, it's you, not me, and blah, 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 blah. And it's fucking. And then from that episode onwards, they really, really play on it. And there was always a bit of that. You know, there was the scene, there was the episode where they were getting, I can't remember exactly, they were trying to figure out who the infected killer or someone is. That they can't, you know, there's like a trigger word or a trigger thing that happens that makes them, you know, do something against their will. And they're testing Sam and they're testing Jack or something, and they fail the test because they can't express their emotions towards each other or how they feel towards each other. And then they have to so that they can pass the test. You know, they play on it constantly. There was always feelings between them, and it's obvious based on the evidence that we have. But does it really, really need to be canon that's a thing, and then everybody just wants to talk about that? Oh, maybe they can bring, maybe fucking Jack and Sam's kid is like intelligent and heroic, and he can be the leader of the next fucking SG-1. Like, man, we don't need a passing of the torch kind of thing like that, but that's where that fucking narrative will lead to. Rhino, so are we going to see you stream with Anna and the other reviewing Stargate? I hope so. I think so. Like, I haven't spoken to anyone specifically in regards to doing anything with anyone at this point in time, but I'm sure, like you know, with Anna, for example, like with all the Star Wars stuff, you know, every now and then we get an opportunity where it's like, oh, do you want to jump on and talk about Andor, or do you want to jump on and talk about Ahsoka or something like that? And we end up doing a stream at least where we get an opportunity to have a chat with everyone, with each other, with everyone there, obviously. Because Anna and I chat all the time. So, you know, we've already talked behind the scenes about Stargate. Yeah. But we're going to watch this. Dial the Gate had Michael Shanks come on and give his thoughts on this new Stargate series, which is really fucking cool. Really fucking cool. Man, I tell you what, he looks very different. He's definitely aged, but yeah, fucking awesome. And it's things like this that are starting to get my nerd feels going. So we're going to watch this, but before we do, I'm just going to run to the bathroom and get a refill on my drink. Give me a second. I'm going to just take this down because if I play something, it'll echo, and we are going to play something. What do we got? I will play a couple of things. Hold on. All right.
Oh, Mother, read that.
So
Mother, don't let the American bitch.
Did you just fart?
Yes, I did. Tell you what to do.
I think it's bedtime, Mother.
Question mark.
I think it's bedtime for Mother. That's that's the type of videos that we watch on fucking Happy Hump Day.
I gotta pee. Oh my god.
It's actually not long enough. I'm just going to play nap time. Enjoy the commercial break.
Mom, can I have a popsicle?
No, honey, you'll spoil your...
Hey parents, tired of those out-of-control kids? Throwing embarrassing tantrums wherever they go. At the grocery store, on the playground, even at the dinner table. You've had it with parenting, but wait, there is a solution. Introducing Nap Time, the latest, most effective tool for child tantrum prevention. It's simple. Just douse a rag with our patented Sleepy Time formula, place it over your child's cry hole, press and hold gently for 8 to 12 seconds, and presto, no more tantrum.
I was beginning to think adoption was the only way out. Then a friend of mine introduced me to Nap Time. It's never been so quiet around here.
The secret lies in Naptime's revolutionary fast-to-sleep formula. Developed by military-trained scientist doctors from NASA, Naptime's powerful molecules rush to the child's brain on contact, gently inducing instant tranquility.
This is chloroform.
Already put those wallet-draining crap factories out on the street? That's okay! Naptime works in any situation. On the golf course. An awkward blind date.
I had a really good time tonight.
It even works on pets.
After we had our first child here, we regretted it almost immediately.
We didn't know that she'd cry so much.
Talk about defective. But thanks to Nap Time, our little Samantha here hasn't made a noise in weeks. I keep her in a shoebox.
Call now and we'll send you your very own 24-ounce bottle of Naptime solution for only 23 easy payments of $1.99. But wait, there's more! Act quickly and you'll also receive the all-new Dream Sack absolutely free. It's compact and portable for those on-the-go tantrums. Just cover it, tighten it, and forget about it. It's that simple.
We can't breathe good.
So if this looks familiar...
I feel pregnant.
Then don't wait! Order today and join the millions of Americans who just can't stop saying...
Thanks, Nap Time.
Thanks, Nap Time. Thanks, Nap Time.
Nap Time! When they just won't shut up. Nap Time is not legal in the following states.
Thank you, Nap Time. All right. Let's watch this interview, shall we? Let's watch this interview. Blab's Kylo outfit is cool. What? Are you talking about the video that she did in the snow? It's not a Kylo Ren outfit. It was a fucking Harry Potter fucking outfit. And then she's holding a lightsaber in a Harry Potter outfit. All right, here we go.
Oh my God.
Look how different he looks.
Dude.
Look how different he looks.
What fake
Stargate?
Did something happen while I was gone?
Man.
God, he's put some weight on in his cheeks, hasn't he?
Can you believe this?
It's great news. It's great news.
Tell us about how you found out. Martin Garrow call you?
I found out.
Oh, we can't. What? How do you? Does anybody know? Hold on. Does anybody know they didn't? They did fucking some stupid fucking update, and you go to speed up, and like you can't do anything with this. You go to normal. You type There's this look that came up, and it looks like you can grab and drag it, but you can't. And we skipped too far ahead.
Texted him his phone and said,
no, we went
day or
far
two.
ahead.
It's great news. I think, what was it, a day or two? A day beforehand. Part of the rollout that's been so neat to me, outside of the way it was done with you guys, which we'll get into, was how it was done with us. And one of the, it's always one of these things that seems like a small detail, but so we I get Joe Malazzi.
I love how, like, even just his little, that like sort of stutter, he kind of, it's not a stutter necessarily, but he sort of, his words are coming out so quick that, but that's how he is fucking, that's the performance as well. Like, there's so much of his natural self that's in Daniel as a character.
Text sends me a DM on Twitter and asks me if this is still my email and blah blah blah, and I had to text him back to say, did you get hacked? Because I mean, that's all he had.
Right? Yeah, he was doing that with us too.
And I'm like, on here, and so I texted him his phone and said, did you get hacked? And he's like, no, it was me. I'm like expect an email. And I'm like, okay. And didn't really ask any questions. It was like, whatever. Pictures of his dogs. I don't know. And so we get this email from Martin, and it basically is this beautifully written email that talks about the show coming, the new show coming, and that he wanted everybody that had sort of been involved before to know early and to
well, that's a good thing, because obviously when they announce something like this, the immediate question is, are you going to be a part of it? Are you going to be in it? Like, all people's favorite, like, and this is the thing with the cameos in this new show. This new show needs to be able to stand on its own and hopefully build that love from the fan base in those characters. Shepard and what's his name? The scientist guy, basically the Daniel guy Daniel and Sam almost in Atlantis, right? Like, actually, in fact, a lot of the characters in Atlantis, you didn't need to rely on the fact of your love for SG-1 to build a love for those characters. And in Atlantis, you definitely have those episodes where you get your Sam cameos. I don't know, do you get a Jack cameo in Atlantis? Again, I haven't watched actually all of Atlantis. I've still got at least 2, maybe 3 seasons of that to watch. And I really should go back and watch that. But the cameos, I hope that we get to see Daniel in this new show. I hope that we get to see Jack. I hope that we get to see Sam. I hope that we get a reference to Hammond. Braytak, Tilk, fucking Shepard, Mitchell, Ronan, any of your favorite characters. It would be nice to have little cameos here and there. But the thing is that the cameos need to be meaningful. They can't just be thrown on the screen for the sake of throwing them on the screen. It was actually a really good, which movie was it? It was one of the 2 movies that takes place after SG-1, where Cam Mitchell is the leader of SG-1, and Ball is getting his symbiote taken out of him, right, by the Tok'ra. But he goes back in time and he fucks fucking Earth so that he can fucking enslave Earth, right? Fucks them in regards to getting the Stargate, And like Sam and Daniel and Mitchell, is it those what are those characters? Yeah, they all end up back in their timeline, but it's based on the changed events by Ball. But in that movie, you don't see much of Jack, but he's there, and he's got a reason for being there and a purpose for being there, and he's really only there at the beginning and the end. And everything in between is all Mitchell and Sam and Daniel. And Tilk, but Tilk isn't a part of the team, obviously. He's still he's now the first prime to bowl. I believe. Is that right? Anyway, it's been a while since I've watched those movies. But you get my meaning in regards to the cameos. We want them. Yes, the fans are going to want to see Daniel. The fans are going to want to see Sam. The fans are going to want to see Jack. Some fans want to see Sam and Jack together. Fans are going to want to see Tilk. They're going to want to see... Did Braytac end up dying by the end of it, or is he still alive? So again, I've watched SG1 fucking 4 times for my fourth view, and I fucking still can't remember. Hammond reference, but they need to be meaningful. They need to have a purpose, and they need to be meaningful. It can't just be your Thrawn fucking cameo. Continuum. That's the one. Yeah. Yep. But you know what I'm saying, Fear of FEMA. The Jack, you basically get him at the beginning when they're about to kill Ball. And then people start disappearing in the room because Ball's changing the timeline as they're going through it, which is quite incredible, to be fair. And then, yeah. Go, Melissa. How you doing? I can watch Casual Rage today because Thanksgiving is tomorrow. Well, happy Thanksgiving, Melissa. Happy Thanksgiving to all my American friends out there. I hope you have a good one. I'm thankful, personally, for your ongoing support and encouragement here on YouTube, and I really appreciate you. Thank you. Have a good one. Let's continue.
Because in that way of we know you are invested in this.
That's right.
This property, and we know that you feel protective of it and whatever, and we want you to know that you're part of it. You're part of the success of it. You're part of the thing that got us here. Blah blah, and not really blah blah blah, but blah 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 in terms of the details. And then what that it's so simple, right? And all that does is it gives you the awareness of oh, cool. And it lets you know what his intentions are with the property and so on and so forth. Rechecks in with everybody and gives them that little tiny little bit of heads up that makes them feel like they're being respected when the thing gets rolled out, so they don't get blindsided by deadline.com with this release, right. And they start emailing him separately too. Part of it is to control that reaction, but part of it is to just let you know, give you the respect.
Let me say this, from it's pretty simple. It hasn't hit, I don't think, the zeitgeist as big as maybe some other things kind of do, but I can't remember what I was going to say because I saw Melvin come in the chat and just say Josh is a shill. How you doing, Melvin? Yes, he is. Fuck, I can't remember what I was actually the point that I was trying to make.
Of letting you know before the general public does, to just give you that respect. And
that's what I was going to say. The way that they've rolled this out, the announcements, having the people, these people involved, they've done it really, really well so far. They've done it well so far. And it's all looking good and positive and everything. I can't get past the fact that there's an ongoing trend of this kind of thing happening, and it scares me a little bit.
You see it with, it's such a minor detail. It may seem unimportant because we're not, part of the property. We're not part of the.
But you are symbols of it.
Speaking of Joshy Boy, Melvin, just going back to the poll really quickly that's in the chat for seal of the week. Sorry, Sawyer is number 1. Nobody has ever been cooler. Jenna is number 2. Post a woman who gets hate for no reason, and she posted the 4 Disney Star Wars women that deserve all the criticism that they're getting. I'm not going to call it hate because it's not hate, it's criticism. It's a difference. I will say there was probably a little bit of hate towards Ewan McGregor more so for this one, and basically her and Leslie Headland, but her for a little fucking diss track bullshit. These two didn't really say anything. We just said that they put her in a potato sack and made her look like shit and raise a Mary Sue. And then you got J.I. Aker going into a comic book store and getting all nostalgic at seeing these posters of The Last Jedi. So they're your 3 nominees. Let's get back to this.
Project.
Oh.
But that's the thing. We've been ambassadors. We've all been out there doing stuff, and it's just so nice because you see it when it's not done, and you hear when people go to a convention or in a chat, even a podcast or something, and say, "Well, I found out on Twitter," blah blah, and it goes so far to be included in that way, to feel like an insider, and that's what's so. Like I said, it's respect.
Well, they should be. They should be. These people put years of a decade, if not more, of their lives into this project that is awesome. And they are the face of Stargate. When you say Stargate, you don't really think of Cam Mitchell. You don't even really think of Jonas Quinn, or wouldn't it be cool to see him? The ones that you think of is Daniel, Sam, Jack, Tilk. And like I said, if they were to just find out on Twitter, it's like then their fucking DMs and their fucking feeds are just full of questions like, did you know? Are you going to be in it? Blah, blah, blah. Now, even with the announcement, they're still going to be flooded with, do you know, blah, blah, blah. Are you going to be in it? All of that kind of thing. But at least they're warned, they're ready, they're prepared. They maybe they get a few pointers like, what if somebody does ask me this? What can I talk about? What can I say? What can't I say? Blah, blah, blah. They can actually get ahead of it a little bit, which is, like I said, the way that the people that are doing this and running this, have been rolling this out has been fantastic.
No, and again with you guys,
yep.
But
that's exactly the thing. The thing that I'll say about these guys is that where have they been? They're not. I don't know whether or not okay, they're Hollywood, they're fucking actors, blah blah blah. But where have they, they haven't been doing I haven't seen any of them doing any activism kind of thing through their social medias or anything like that. The only reason why these guys are actually now coming back out of the woodwork is because of this announcement. And that's what makes me cautiously optimistic because, yes, they are saying the right things. They're doing all the right things. It's feeling good as a fan. They're making me want this to happen and they're getting me excited for it. But I've had the rug pulled out from underneath me too many times not to go into it cautiously.
your curiosity as to why they decided to include you. I mean, it's obvious.
For sure.
You know, this property has been kept alive by you guys, and you guys are at the tip of that spear. And without the fans keeping this alive, this IP is just, you know, no offense to it, but Legally Blonde sitting on the shelf. Like it's
He's right.
The legacy of this, the fans involved in this are part of the legacy of this show.
It's surprising. It is surprising that Stargate didn't hit quite the same with how much there is with Stargate, how many seasons there are, how many different shows, how many movies there are, and all of this kind of thing. How it didn't even really hit the zeitgeist as much as like your Star Treks or your Star Wars or I don't know. What do you reckon, chat? What do you reckon is more well known or more liked or like just in the realms of this sphere of the, you know, the world, the geek nerd sort of sphere? What do you reckon is higher or more well known? Dune or Stargate? If you want, you can just do ones and twos. One for Dune, two for Stargate. What do you think? What do you think is more well known? Or do you reckon they're around the same kind of level? Because I reckon Stargate should be a bigger thing than even Dune. Anyway, let's continue.
Out there
while I wait.
And you guys have been keeping the light on of this. David with your show, Darren with your show, with the news and all that stuff that you know that you've all and God bless you all for like hanging in there, waiting like the rest of the world, you know, for news and biting on any kind of like I don't know, thirst trap clickbait article that comes out that says that, you know, Joe Malazzi's dog has written the script and we're all gonna, you know, come back as pugs on, you know, in a cartoon series, whatever it is that Collider.com or whatever the hell these clickbait sites sort of do.
I like how he mentions Collider there.
So they're doing that with you guys. They're sort of letting everybody on our end know a little bit early. They're doing it, rolling it out that way, putting the fans first, not the corporation first. Is it's so heartening, you know, and so different. And I remember something so simple. I was talking to some of the cast of Charmed when that sort of reboot or reimagine. I didn't watch it. The original either, but anyway, that show, the new show, the new version came out, and there was, you know, probably an out of context interview where one of the cast said the
I didn't
old
even know anything
people
about
or something like that, and these people didn't know that a new version was coming out, and they're the ambassadors for that show out in the world, out at, you know, London Film and Comic Con or you know, Wales or something like that. And they're reading this stuff.
Yeah,
you know? It's the internet. I mean, it's
kind of like Gina Carano finding out that she's fired on social media. You know, it would be like these guys finding out that Stargate's coming back on social media and then them being flooded, you know, with shit. Makes them feel a part of it. And then when they are possibly asked to come and do a cameo or whatever, then, yeah. A new Stargate show sold. Take my money. Yeah. Yep.
it can run around pretty quickly. And so they're getting faced with that kind of thing. And that's what I mean is that group all of a sudden goes, well, thanks. That's nice. Isn't that nice? Didn't know about it, and now kind of getting despair. You know, like, and it's details like that.
Oh, and happy kind of birthday. Yeah, thanks. Thanks. It's my birthday on Monday, so I was kind of like splitting my birthday between the two streams that my birthday takes place between. But we'll do a proper Birthday, we'll have a few drinks. We'll celebrate next week because it's closer to my birthday next week, even though next week's stream is after my birthday. But I appreciate it. Thank you.
That again in the rollout seems small compared, you know, with all the things going on, and especially all the things that are probably on Martin's plate. That he gives that respect and then gives that respect to the fans. So I'm so heartened to see
me too
doing it and doing it right.
Yeah.
And not just them, but also hats off to Amazon Prime. I mean, you know, I don't know if they're out there, but you know,
and the fact that it is through Amazon sort of scares me a little bit too with some of the things that they've done. Hopefully they won't be doing any meddling with it. If they're smart, they won't. They'll just let the people that have made Stargate what Stargate is today continue to make Stargate into the future. And hopefully they can just allow that to happen. So we'll see.
There's some fan out there that was screaming, yeah, what we want is a whole new vision. So hire J.J. Abrams to do Stargate. Because everybody that I talked to in the fan world was always saying we got to have, you know, the original creators.
Yep.
Before
he
to
keeps
at least give
up.
them first crack at this, and lo and behold, we find out that they're doing just that. And how often does it happen? You know, with bigger.
Do you imagine J.J. Abrams doing
like
Stargate?
Lord of the Rings,
Ryan Johnson doing Stargate? Oh my God!
That things get rolled out with the original visionaries being ignored that don't necessarily turn out so well. And I'm not saying that everything's like that. I mean, you know,
but some things are. Yeah.
There's things that happen, but everybody that I've talked to in fan world has sort of said, I hope, you know, the creators are involved in some way, that the original people get some at least first crack at it.
You got to remember too, with some of these IPs that have actually been destroyed, there have been times where they've started with people that do actually have a love for it and want to be involved in it, and they end up getting pushed out. That's the other side of this too. Just search end title theme for Stargate SG-1. Joel Goldsmith. Okay, I'll check that out. Maybe I might try and, because you know you can do the music on StreamYard. So, oh, there's no sounds. Hey, I can do applause. Oh, bounce. Fast. Oh, drum roll on the bongos. A gong. And we can add more sounds to that. And maybe for when we talk about Stargate, I'll get that Stargate music and we'll put it so we can play it in the background. Dance pop. Oh. Is that it? Oh no, here we go. Daydreaming, here we go. Feeding the ducks. Man, feeding the ducks. It sounds like porn, and what action do you do when you're feeding the ducks? Into space. We'll get some because we can add music in, Rock. Night driving. Oh no, you don't want to be listening to this. This will make you fall asleep if you're driving at night. Anyway. Yeah, maybe we can, for when we talk about some Stargate, I'll get some Stargate music for the background.
And lo and behold, I can't believe that they listen to that. Because usually they don't.
Darren,
they usually go, thank you,
rarity,
thank you. Thank you, nice kitty. You know,
Darren and I have been levitating for about 10 days now, and we're just coming
I'm
back
sure,
down to earth.
My phone, my phone blew up, and I was just sitting around minding my own
I bet it
business, and I
did.
couldn't believe how many people, not even in the Stargate family, were like, "Hey, what's this about the thing of moves?" And I'm like, like you
Yeah,
guys
nobody got the joke.
have been going hard there. Like I just caught more sleep than you probably did on my walk.
I wish
over
I could
here.
speed
Like,
this up.
You guys are going hard, which is fantastic. Again, and this is why, this
It's
is why
14
they
years,
reached out
man.
to you guys first. I mean,
This is what we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
This is
14
it. We're
years.
not gonna pass it up.
You guys were teenagers.
Pretty much.
I was 14 when you said meaning of life stuff, and I was like, oh hell, this is gonna be going for years.
Yeah,
I knew then when I saw it in first run syndication. I knew it with that script. So, Diana,
And it's exactly what you described, Michael. Martin Garrow told us basically after he gave us the news and said, "This is how we want to roll it out," to go to the fans first. He said, we've now got like 50 people to contact. And it's not because you want to go back to the Stargate cast and crew and, necessarily give everybody a job, but just the respect of letting everybody know that this is coming and this is important to you. This is important to all of us. Be aware of it.
They were a part of what made it.
All right. I do like this, but I'm past the point of how awesome the announcement and announcing it with the fans and everything is. Can we talk about what we want to see, what we want to get out of it? Let's ask some questions. Before we do, I am going to end the poll. So if you haven't voted yet, get your votes in. For Seal of the Week, it's a very, very tight poll this week. Very tight between these three. They can't be separated. And I need your help to separate them. So we've got 17 votes in the poll right now. Number 1 is Sawyer. Nobody has ever been cooler, with a stranger mask on. Jenna's saying that these 4 women didn't really, they got hate for no reason. And you got J.I. Aker that got very nostalgic at a comic book store for seeing Last Jedi posters or cardboard cutouts. Get your votes in. Let's end this poll. Let's actually... Hang on one second. I'll give you some thinking music. We can turn it up. Wow. I have come to clean the pool. All right. Oh, see, the music got the juices flowing and we got some votes in the poll. All right, enough of that gay shit. All right, we're going to end it because there is a clear winner. This week, we get a tie for last place or the runner-up, with them both getting 32% of the vote, was Jacob and Jenna. And this week's winner of Seal of the Week with 36% of the vote was, of course, Sawyer. It's funny that she's actually wearing a Mickey fucking t-shirt. Congratulations, Sawyer. You are this week's Seal of the Week. Oh, that's the wrong one. All right, let's finish this, and then we can actually get the fuck out of here. Fucking, I hate the fact that we can't speed this shit up. Thank you guys for voting in the poll.
You guys are for better or worse, brand ambassadors for the rest of your life because of what the show has meant to you and to all of us.
It'll be on your epitaph.
I take it as a super
And
encouraging
how
sign
many
from
people
Martin
how
and
many
from
people
Amazon.
how many other like other creators would know that that's an important thing? Like if you're handed like these guys, that's the other thing that's so.
What did I think of the original film? What, Stargate? Oh, I think it's great. I think it's absolutely fucking fantastic. I will say, obviously, there's a little bit of a change from Stargate the movie to SG-1 in the way that they portray the Goa'uld as almost aliens in the movie. Not these symbiotes, not the snakes. And I don't know whether or not there was a bit of a shift there or it sort of just evolved into that. But the way that they showed Ra and the way Ra looked without a host, they made him almost look like an alien. And I don't know whether or not that's like, I don't know. But yeah. I love the original movie. I love like I haven't watched Universes or whatever that series was. And I've only watched half of Atlantis, but from what I've seen from Atlantis, I think it's good. I really like it. I think it's not as good as SG-1 for me, but and I think that SG-1 is better than the movie, the original movie. I think SG-1 is better than the other two movies that come out after it. But I also, but it is just obviously one continuous story too. The way that they go from that first movie into the first episode of season 1 of SG-1 and how they tie it all together is really, really well done. A year apart from the end of the movie to the start of SG-1, it's fantastic. How they figure out that there's like, it's not just one gateway, it's, you know, a multiple gateway system and all of that's, it's fantastic. Fantastic.
So great about and Brad and Joe, you know, being you know, part of the process as well. They got skin in the game, and you know, who else would think to do that? Like a new creator who doesn't know us wouldn't, you know, maybe would throw up. I don't think so. You know, would hunt down all those emails and say, hey, you know, blah blah blah. Like, no way, because it's they don't know us, so they don't know if they don't care if they piss us off. Like it's you know, or if they just rub us the wrong way. They don't know. It could be a new toy for them. They're like, oh great, I will, you know, I want to do it this way and whatnot. So it's like I said, it's.
So I honestly, I'm reading it. I have no idea what any of that is. I'm ready for Project Red. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry.
I've been very buoyed by.
I'm glad that you're ready for it, though.
The way that this has come about, which also makes me very excited for how it's going to come out.
There's a lot to be said for Amazon, whoever the executive was over there, how they nurtured the relationship first with Martin, who wrote the pilot, 18 months ago is really when negotiations started, and how they are trusting Martin and Brad and Joe and the rest of the team that's being brought in now to know what is best for the show to truly succeed. They want the show to succeed versus trying to fit this square peg into a round hole. So that just increases the optimism like so much. This is just, I mean, and watching the three of them talking when in that video is hilarious because they're all like little kids that have just been released into FAS Sports, into this huge toy store that clearly is going to be significantly budgeted, because you watch Brad talk about visual effects and what's possible. I mean, he didn't say it, but the cube is, of course, what they're going to use. You know, this is going to have support from the distributor. It's going to have support from the fans, and it's going to do great. It's exciting.
What video is she talking about? I think I need to watch
and
that.
it's excited. I'm excited to see them excited, and Brad certainly knows the difference between not just the budget that will be included probably for I'm assuming because this company has certainly deeper pockets than MGM on its own ever did, and the technology. I'm excited by that. Like 20 years later, what we can do? What? Like,
Yeah,
I wouldn't even have the foggiest idea about
anything
visual effects on this scale. So
that is cool.
It's exciting, and like you said, it's exciting to see them excited because they know
if they can do a really good script.
If
they can do a really good script and a really good story and really good characters and everything, and use the money well on the visual effects and really, putting time, effort, and love into it, it could be great. It could truly be great.
About about ideas, and I said it sounds expensive, and I quoted our old line producer because that's everything that he would say, and it's not, like
Stargate. If it is truly the original people that are working on it, and they can stay true to Stargate could truly become the one that overtakes them all. It actually, with where we are now, Stargate could be the one true sci-fi franchise that actually survives the fucking woke wars of Hollywood.
It fits better, and I'm excited to see what this looks like in this kind of world.
God,
today,
I wish I could speed this up.
I'm old enough
because they're saying a lot of nothing. They're using a lot of words to not say a lot.
I started out on that show, and I was the youngest person, other than the PAs. I was the youngest person on that set. And here's old man Shanks saying, "When I was a boy."
You really were, you really were one of the parents of the franchise. If you look at the original cast, and of course the staff writers and the producers and all that, you're the ones who hatched this enormous egg that just keeps cracking open and revealing new layers.
What does it? You know anything? Is there anything?
It's so neat. It's so neat to see.
Have you been approached to be a part of it?
Back in those days,
even if you know that he wouldn't even be able to answer the question, it's cool to ask the question just to see what his reaction is. You can kind of gauge a little bit of something from that, depending on how good his poker face is, if there is anything there.
But now that it's here, like I said, it's happening with the right people, and I think the best way, like I know, just even the stuff that I've read, I can't even imagine what's out there. That this is a great time period for a week when it's like telling your kids that COVID's over and that we're gonna have Christmas again. And everybody's freaking out.
It's a catharsis.
Because it's like, well, we're gonna have Christmas, and then all the speculation starts, and then a day later they're like, well, I wonder what I'm gonna get. I really want this, and I really want that, and I really want this. So I better not get this. Where all the kvetching and the speculation turns into toxicity and all the other stuff that I know. Listen, it's part of the package. We've been doing this, since the modern formation of the internet, that these things exist, and there will be people with expectations, demands, even entitlement, and yada yada yada. But
I think you're going to see less of that, Michael, than you think you are. We saw that with the previous efforts, but I think people are so at a point where they really want.
Well, you have to remember, Diana, when we did this, when we first started this, there wasn't even Yahoo groups. So, like, as much as you say,
I agree. I agree with Michael on this one. I think that there's definitely going to be people out there that aren't necessarily going to get what they want, but it's almost like the prequels, Star Wars prequels, in a way. A lot of people didn't get what they want. Now, a lot of people didn't even go back and give it a chance. They have grown on some people over time. I think it's going to be unavoidable that you're going to have, but the main thing that it needs to stick to is the lore, the canon, and the continuity of the Stargate universe, and it needs to stick to the same sort of feel, the same beats. It can't be shifted. Like, it's always been diverse and all of that shit, but it never was a thing. It never needed to be a thing. I will say, in season 1, early days, when Sam is actually introduced to the team and Jack is like a woman, she ends up having to essentially prove herself. And there's a later episodes where they're on a planet where the women are treated like shit and stuff, and they liberate them and stuff like there are those things in this, but it was never maybe in that episode where it was actually on the planet and that was basically the premise of the episode. Well, then that's the premise of that episode. I don't think, like, that's where it's going to be hard for, I think, in the current climate that we're in, for people to realize the difference between this is natural and this is what the show is, and this is what the show has always had, and this is how the show's always been, as opposed to, oh, that's woke, that's crap, that's messaging, blah, blah, blah. I feel like it's going to struggle in the day and age that we're in now, which is not a good thing.
See less of it, we'll see more enthusiasm. We're just going to see more stuff, period.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have to learn to filter a lot of it ourselves, because
No, absolutely.
That's the
When I
thing, is that
watched the series, I watched it after it aired, and because I was commissioned to write the novels, I deliberately stayed off social media because I knew it was going to be toxic. So I stayed away from it to form my own opinions. But right now, people are so
even the fact that she is using the word toxic,
hungry for Stargate, that they're like, they have been starved for so long, like the kid kept from Christmas for 5 years, that they're like, you're only going to give me a little tree. That's okay. It's still a little tree.
well, we were starved of Star Wars for so long, and look at what they did to that. You know, this is where we're going to go into it, being very, very cautious about it.
I'll take anything at this point.
There is going to be some gratitude, for sure. For sure. There's going to be some gratitude. And like I said, the best part about this is knowing that hit or miss with an episode or some ideas or whatever, knowing that for sure that the plane is above the target and knows where it is, rather than going, what are they thinking? I don't know what the hell this is about. That knowing that they know what this is supposed to sound like, they know what this is supposed to look like. It's just a matter of getting there, executing, and how you get there. That we'll all wait and see. Yeah, I'm just excited by that.
God, I wish we could speed this up.
The target, may not be a laser guided bomb. It might be an old school B-52, but it's, although I will say this, and I cannot stress this enough, that I don't know, there are growing pains, for any new show, I don't know if people really kind of realize some of the, just the kinks that got to be worked out of new people doing, because there's always going to be new people. There's going to be a new cast. There's going to be, all sorts of different new writers and production people and things like that. That there's going to be some hiccups, because I don't know if anybody remembers SG1, but our first season is not fondly remembered.
Yeah, we're getting close to the end of the stream for sure. And happy Thanksgiving to you too. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Yeah, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving here. My birthday's coming up though.
Remember, it is our strongest season. We had 22 episodes to muck around with. So whatever they do, if there's some natural hiccups.
I like that though. You're Australian. Well, happy Thursday.
Might be granted. I remember the days of Hathor and what is that? What is everybody's favorite?
Emancipation.
Come on. What's that?
Emancipation?
Yeah.
Yes, Emancipation.
I love Catherine Powers. I love her. I want to just, and Diana does too. We're going to put that out there in the universe. But, you have to figure things out. It's as simple as that.
Listen, she went on to write some of the great episodes too. And then over on Star Trek, she created Garrick.
That's true.
But that luxury of 22 episodes, sadly highly doubt they're going to have that luxury.
Oh heck yeah. And that's the other thing that is different, and that's the only part that I just hang a question mark on is what's it going to look like in a 8 to 10 episode format, because it's going to I don't know that.
I hate that.
I'm looking at Prime, they don't do anything more than like 4 to 8. I don't imagine that they're going to what
at
do
least
they
do 12 to 14.
Rings of Power, not that they're going to give $1 billion to do the first season, but
I think Maisel was 12, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think it was a dozen. So we'll see. Part of it I guess will be budgeting. I think more is better. But I think, as you say,
I think the Stargate more is better.
We talked about this earlier about they have to have the right to stumble. You guys had the right to stumble, and you eventually created this extraordinary experience that here we are years later talking about it.
Yeah, and some of it.
Thanks, Darth Leviathan.
You recognize the pros and cons of having a longer episode order, like you sort of like I don't know exactly what you'd call filler in our early seasons, like what's filler episodes, right? Like we had, I think, $6 million for the first 2 hours that they put in, and then we kind of had to, tap the brick.
As I mentioned earlier, I never watched Universe. I've only watched halfway through Atlantis. I need to finish it, and I liked it. There's no other reason than the fact that I just fell off watching it. Yeah, I'm more interested to know who's going to be the big bad in this? Where are we going? What are we doing? We're obviously now technologically advanced enough to have a fleet of ships, as well as using the Stargate system, going between universes. A lot of the enemies are defeated, but there's always a way. And I think that they should go back to the Gould. I think they should find one of the fucking, the only thing is with that is, like I said earlier, the ancient technology is way more powerful than the Gould technology, or the technologies that Gould steal, to the point where one Gould maybe building a small fleet or a small army of some kind when the Jafar are liberated as well. It's going to be hard to be able to do something like that, but you never know. So we'll see.
Because we had to make that money back when we were doing some bottle shows in the episodes that happened after that, because we were trying to we overspent over here and we're trying to make it back over here. So one of the things that does, of course, is it allows actors to have these character-driven bottle shows kind of stuff, which people sort of go, well, it's not really an action adventure when you're standing in a broom closet talking to each other, blah, blah, blah. But it's this is how you get to know the
characters. Yeah.
Those are the things that, allow you to.
And that's the thing,
understand who
I mentioned this. I can't remember when I mentioned it actually, but basically there are a fair few filler episodes in the 24, let's say, episodes per season format that they had. But the thing is even in those filler episodes, there might be one small thing that ends up getting referenced later and ends up being a bigger part of the story later, even though when you just watched that original episode, it honestly felt like filler. It always seemed like even the filler episodes had a reason, whether it be this small little cameo moment within the episode that a piece of technology that they need to reference later or something. The episode where Jack and Tilk live the same day over and over and over again. You got the Groundhog Day situation going on with those two. That is a genuine filler episode where nothing from that episode ever gets referenced again, I don't think. It might get referenced for the time loop, perhaps, just as a in-passing thing for what could possibly happen as a result of doing something in another mission, maybe, but I don't think like there's much to that. But it allowed us to get an insight to Jack and Teal'c and how Sam and Daniel are reacting to the time loop and everything as well. You know, you get some of those great scenes where fucking Teal'c and Jack are playing golf. And he asks Teal'c, like, how far away is the planet that they're fucking swinging golf balls into? He's like, oh, blah, 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 million light years away or something. And he's like, oh, it's got to be some kind of record. Like, there's funny little moments, you know, like that. But it is just your filler episodes. But that's where you get to know the characters. Whereas you're trying to do a Stargate show within 8 to 10 episodes, and you want it to feel and still be the same as the way SG-1 felt or Atlantis felt, when you don't have time to build on the characters like you did with those previous seasons, because you're shortening everything and you've got to be, man, with that, you've got to move quick. So we'll see.
People are that we're going to be.
I don't think that's a good thing.
When the ships start crashing and the blasts start happening and things like that. Like for every action sequence, there's Daniel and O'Neill sitting around O'Neill's house talking about ex-wives and whatnot. And
yes, but see, one of the best episodes was the episode where Ball had. So Jack needed a symbiote because he was dying. So the Tok'ra gave him one. There was never a mind meld thing between the symbiote, the Tok'ra symbiote, and Jack. So that's why Jack can't remember shit, right? But Jack gets captured by Ball, and Daniel is ascended at this point in time, but shows up just to help him get through this. Jack keeps getting pissed off with him because Daniel does have the power to save him and rescue him, but doesn't. There's the other episode where Daniel is ascended and Teal'c is pretty much dying, and he's sharing the symbiote between him and Braytak. And this is just before they end up on the Tylenol or whatever the fuck you call it. I know it's not Tylenol. They end up taking that so they don't need their symbiotes anymore after that moment. But Daniel helps him get through that as an ascended being. There's more standing around and talking in that episode than there is any action, but man, is it a great episode. You know what I'm saying? So by eliminating, let's say 50% of the number of episodes per season, you're eliminating moments that you can take away from us building a relationship or a feeling or a way towards the characters, and especially these new characters that you're bringing in.
Moments to breathe, to relate to them as people are hugely important. So some of that filler turns into a boon, especially for a show like Stargate that is all about, found family and whatnot. If you've got a short order and a sprint from episode 1 to episode 10, let's just say, I don't know, that you've got a lot of story ground to cover. That sometimes what can get lost in there is the characters interacting to the degree that we want to give a crap about.
Exactly.
And
exactly. That's exactly what I was just saying.
A clip show better than
exactly
any
what he
other
just
writer
said.
I've ever witnessed in the history.
Absolutely. And again, yeah. But boom. That's that. And that's the thing is, that for with someone like Brad there to do an Abyss, to do an episode that's two guys standing around in a room debating about suicide and
which episode is Abyss? The Abyss. I need to check this now. That's that episode. That's that episode that I was just saying. That's what it's called. Abyss sounds familiar. Yeah, it's the episode where where Jack is captured by Ball and he's being tortured by Ball, and Daniel is ascended and coming to him, and just basically trying to be moral support to help get him through this. That's the episode Abyss. This is exactly what I just referenced.
And around in a room to an abyss, and that's the thing is that for with someone like Brad there to do an abyss, to do an episode that's two guys standing around in a room debating about suicide and ascension or whatever you want to call that
and you're on the edge of your seat.
Yeah,
there's
with
somebody
shoes being
there.
thrown through you.
Yeah, but also again you can't necessarily do that without getting to know the people beforehand and caring about them when they do talk about stuff. So that's the only part that I just don't know how Stargate reacts to that kind of short-term story. I certainly know in the longer run and how and that's tricky. I mean, these guys, the thing about it is and people need to understand that because of all of the parameters, it's kind of like the rollout, right? It's like they threaded that camel hair through so many different eyes to get to this point, both through the corporation, giving them that opportunity and then doing it all right. And you're like, wow, I don't know if you guys play the game Geometry Dash. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's a video game. My son plays it, and it's the most maddening thing in the world. It's like a maze that happens at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and it's dumb. I wouldn't play it because I would literally blow my brains out because I wouldn't literally, figuratively. I would be upset. I would be very frustrated playing this game because it is like it's like a maze, but you were a ship traveling through this like old school Defender or old school Stargate. Traveling through at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and you have to hit every beat exactly right to get through this maze as you're traveling 1,000,000 miles an hour. And I look at him and say, why do you play this? This is crazy. And that's how I think that with this, that all these little details, these notes to hit, these beats to honor, to make this happen right, have to be just kind of so like you. Just the description that everybody's expecting. It's gonna be for science fiction fans, non-science fiction fans, Stargate fans, old school Stargate fans, and for all these people. And of course, that's what they're gonna try and succeed. What has to go into that? Like, figure that Rubik's cube out. So
well, this is the thing that they need to not concentrate on getting any new fans or anything like that. People that are going to gravitate to it, people are going to talk about it. If you can make this thing big, people will talk about it. Like, let's say they eventually got to talking about something like Game of Thrones, right? And then people go back and they rewatch this SG-1 and all of this kind of thing. I'm not saying that that's necessarily going to happen, but that's how you do it. You get the new fans through good storytelling, good character work. Basically, what you did with the originals and what you've got, you continue doing that. And that's where, even the shorter, the shortened seasons, like episodes per season, all of that sort of thing, I don't know whether or not that's good. I really don't for something like Stargate, but we'll have to wait and see if they can do it well enough. They're good on them, and I'll be wrapped.
There's going to be some, I just, like I said, I'm so buoyed by who's doing it and how they're doing it so far that they're already into the maze and they're already working all those and playing all those notes. And I'm so happy. I'm so excited for them to see what pops out on the other side. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot of things to hit. It's a lot of, eyes of needles to stick that hair through.
Here's one of the upsides, though, Michael, is that when you did the Showtime episodes and then the Sci-Fi Channel episodes, those were like 42 to 44 minutes long. Typically now streaming shows that are an hour long literally are an hour long. They're like 55 minutes, 58 minutes, even an hour and 5 minutes. So and then the other thing is when you did those shows, was the whole season written ahead of time before you shot, or partly and then on the way?
I think that they had major plot points outlined for the seasons that they would do in the writers' room, but those scripts were being written on the fly. Like that's why you were
So they had this overarching story that they wanted. They knew where they wanted to start from, where they wanted to get to, and how they wanted to essentially get there, but they needed to fill spots. Now, that's why you get some episodes that are just pure filler, right? Because they needed to fill 24 episodes and, they didn't have enough story to do the overarching story that they wanted to. Sorry, they had not enough story within the overarching story to do the full 24 episodes. So they've got to put filler in there. And because they're writing them as they go, but they still had an overarching story. They knew where they wanted to get to. Now, yes, you can eliminate some of that filler, but you then eliminate some of the character work that you can bring into it as well.
both successful and unsuccessful with a large part of our improvisation, because sometimes we were shooting something that was on the day, that we got dialogue, and then this follow Rick, wherever we're going with this, here we go.
So a lot of today, what they're doing with these 8 to 10 episode seasons is they're like a feature film. They're writing out completely the whole season, and then they shoot out locations. Which
I've done a couple of things for that are all like I wouldn't even get scripts for some of these shows. I would get just my scenes, and when I did a series called Altered Carbon, another science fiction show on Netflix.
Great show.
I never saw a script. I never saw a script. I remember I was on set with Anthony Mackie and David Cubitt and a few of the other actors playing these characters. And I didn't know the mythology. I didn't read the books or anything like that, so I didn't know what the heck was going on in this thing. And we're just shooting it, and I've just read the scenes. I got them a week beforehand, and I've read the scene that we're shooting, blah blah, and I didn't know what the hell was going on, because I'm not part of the larger part of the story either. So I'm just seeing and this is how secretive they are too about some of this stuff. And I remember just saying out loud, I said, I can't wait to watch this to find out what the hell we're all doing. And I don't know if that's necessarily the best way to proceed when it comes to the actors, where they don't even know what the hell they're like working on, kind of thing. And apparently Amazon is quite secretive about their
I never watched Altered Carbon
processes and whatnot. So in terms of keeping the audience in the dark and whatnot, that they're a tech company first, not necessarily an entertainment company. So
that's right.
They like a little bit of secrecy on their end, or love a little bit of secrecy on their end. So
I don't think this will be like Marvel, where you have to go into a room and like read it on an iPad and then sign away the blood of your first child. I don't think it's going to be that severe.
I played a small part in what was Neil Blomkamp's Elysium, his movie Elysium.
That was great.
And I was just and Neil started off. He was a visual effects guy on Stargate, and so I got offered the small part on the show for giggles from Neil. And I never met Neil when he was a visual effects guy on Stargate, because they all worked in a separate room than the rest of us. And I had to go to the studio, great studio, strangely enough, before I accepted the part, and read the script at the studio, and it's like sign the thing, read the script, and then leave and never see it again before I agreed to take the part. That was how it went down. It wasn't like, here, you come in, once you've taken the part, you're come in and read it this way. It was before I even took it, so I had to go down to do that, to take the part, to find out what I was doing.
Diana,
it wasn't much, but it was still.
Thank you so much, Diana, for joining us. Writer, producer, SG1 author from the book series The Drift and Four Dragons. Michael, if you ever have a chance to read fan fiction, this is not fan fiction. This is not fan fiction. This is
these are like episodes. This is MGM approved.
What I was trying to get to, Diana, if you have ever had a chance to read fan fiction, wait until you see the caliber of these novels, because some people think that official tie-in novels are fan fiction.
All right, we're pretty much at the end. We're not gonna. There is a much longer. Like, he's there for the whole the 2-hour long fucking episode. I just wanted to get a sneak peek into that. I don't know whether or not they get around to actually asking him some questions, whether or not he's heard anything or, I mean, it's still very early days, obviously. But it is, I'm getting more and more excited. The more I hear about it, the more I'm, watching what happens. And I just hope, beyond hope, that it can stay true to what Stargate is and we can get some good continuation of the story and it doesn't fucking start to retroactively change shit or anything like that. It just needs to stay true to what it is and it should be fine. But there's some exciting times for Stargate fans and I'm excited. Yeah. I'm with you. Please, Lord Almighty in heaven, please let this be good. Amazon won't let you down? Well, General Carter. Interesting. But there you go. That's that. We finished Seal of the Week and we're done. We are done for this week's Casual Rage. So next week, we will be celebrating my birthday. We will be having shots. We will be drinking. We will have some fun. I don't know what we'll be talking about yet. And obviously, we'll be drinking on Flashcast as well, being that is the day before my birthday. I will be drinking there as well. So that should be a lot of fun. I am probably going to, I don't know whether or not I will tonight, but I'm going to chuck on a gaming stream. Just stay posted for that. Subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. A gaming stream because I was able to hopefully fix my audio and I at least want to test it. So we'll see how we go. I might set something up again, but I need to get some food and I actually need to go to the shops really quickly, get some fucking cat food and shit like that. But we'll see. Other than that, thank you everyone for being here. The Libra View 9032 says, here's some shekels towards the shoot fund. Thank you. Wow, Rhino actually looks like he got some sleep. The funny thing is, it's so funny. I'm really bad. I get real bad dark under my eyes. And yes, it is a lot of the time from lack of sleep. I used to suffer from insomnia. I don't so much anymore, but I still do struggle to get to sleep. Once I'm asleep, I'm sort of okay. But even when I started the stream, I didn't feel like I looked all that good because my eyes were really red because I was scratching them or itching them before the fucking stream started. And my nose has pretty much been running the whole time. It's just hay fever. I've got fucking really, really bad hay fever right now, especially today. It's fucked me up. But yes, thank you. I look better. I know I look better than I did fucking, yeah. But thank you. And thank you for the super chat. Yeah, that's it. We are all done. Go over. I think Camelot is streaming right now. He is. He's got Cecil on and they're streaming. Let me put the link to that in the chat. And go over and give him a raid. I can't raid properly because I'm retarded. But go over and give him a raid. And give him a Rhino raid. Let him know. He raided me. So at least let him know that I'm raiding him back, please. I'd appreciate it. But thank you, everyone. We will see you next week for another Casual Rage. We'll be getting drunk. We'll be having fun. And we'll see you there. Fuck off, Disney.
They
you
came
fucking...
bounding over.
Fuck off, Disney! You fucking cunt!
Yeah, I think I remember seeing the movie. There's one scene that sticks out, and it probably sticks out for everybody, which is that, have you heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
A few minutes? Are you kidding? At the rate they're gaining?
No, what is it? You have to shoot this. Traveling through hyperspace is like dusting, ain't like dusting crops, kid. Without precise calculations, we fly too close to a store. They're bouncing to a super. market, and then
Yeah.
be a hell of a mess.
What's that?
Watch. You're losing the deflector shields. Go strap yourselves in. Be careful on the way out.
Yeah, sure. I'm taking very caution.
You go away.
We bounced too near a supermarket?